Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrew Campbell, and I will be presenting a summary of my recent presentation made at the University of the West Indies Open Campus on my best practices I have acquired over the last 6 years as an online facilitator. Number one, disregard the myths. Many persons think it's easier to teach online because it's something you can do in your own time, on your own time, in your spare time. Actually, that is not so. In the online environment, it is far more accountable because of the students have far more access to you. Because you teach online, students believe they can send you an email or a request 24 hours a day. So there are no such things as weekends, holidays, and nights. Number two, understand your roles. It's important in the online environment that you understand that just as in a regular classroom, you play a number of roles. You play a role as a facilitator, a classroom manager, a researcher, a motivator, a cheerleader, and advocate. One of the things I want to point out at this time is a subject matter expert. In an online environment, it's important that as you type information, that it is logical, it is relevant, it is experienced, and it is very correct. Students want to know when they come to the online environment, what they're getting from you is indeed the content of a subject matter expert. Number three, know your course page. The online environment is like a regular classroom. In a school, you know that you teach on the third floor, room 59, last door on the left. Well, in the online environment, it's just the same. You have to know where you are located. You have to understand your course page. You have to understand the terminologies and the technologies that comes with a online learning environment. Such things as Windows, forum, drop-down option, grading scale. What do we mean by a link? What do we mean by a window? What do we mean by a URL address? As an online facilitator, you must know your course page. Number four, know your students. Now that you know your learning environment, you know your content, it's important that you know your students. And in an online environment, many times the students are also adult learners and they are also part-time students. So it's important that you understand who are students. And I want to particularly draw your attention to the fact that I addressed our students as customers. And what that means is that for me as an educator, when I see students as customers, then immediately I go to customer service and I find that I go to a higher level of student engagement. I make myself accountable to my students' learning. The other part I want to point out about students is, for me, I have identified the online student in 5 different categories: the giver, the grazer, the amazer, the taker, and the night rider. I just want to quickly let you know, the giver is that student who is always online. They sign in, they log in, they make their posts on time, they upload, they download, they are really interacting with the course page. And then you also have the grazer. That is that student who logs on every now and then, goes around. You can see from their log that they are in the course and they are clicking and they're opening, but they are really not posting anything. And then I just want to finally talk about the amazer, and that is that student that is really doing everything on time. They are present, they are sharing in the lounge, they are sharing something they found online, they are sharing a website, they are sharing a YouTube video, and they are really engaged. So the online environment is just like a regular classroom where there are different students, different needs, different level of development, and different learning styles. You have to know your students. Number 5, keep the discussions alive. One of the most important ways we engage students in the online environment is through discussion forums. And as an instructor, it's important that you enter that discussion, you keep it alive, you keep it going. And the best way to do that is to post follow-up questions, post questions that interrogate the content, and post questions that will motivate students to participate. And the final thing I want to say about this is, please remember there's a difference between a series of posts and an actual discussion. And I have found that many times our students get carried away with just posting, but they are not interacting. What we want in the online environment is interaction, not just a series of posts. Number 6, teach all students. It is important that we be genuine about allowing our students' voices to be heard in our classes. We must move away from traditional ways of engagement and be honest about culturally responsive teaching. Allow students to know that their lived experiences and the knowledge they bring to the class is important, useful, and appreciated. In the true sense of constructivism, we must remind ourselves we are not the keeper of all knowledge. Yes, we are subject matter experts, but knowledge is so much more than content. Number 7, provide timely feedback. It is important that we provide timely feedback on forum questions, forum comments, assignments, concerns, and emails. It is even more important that when we provide written feedback to assignments, that they be specific, tangible, useful, honest, developmental, and offer next steps. Telling someone good assignment is not enough. How do you qualify good? Now we will take a look at 3 samples. In this third sample, I have done 4 things which I consider to be the systematic, useful elements of written feedback. I begin with a positive. I am specific about what needs to be changed. I provide some directions. And finally, allow them to see that there needs to be follow-up. Number 8, provide weekly updates and reminders. It keeps you organized, keeps them organized, and it lessens the workload of email responses that you will need to deal with on a weekly basis. Students like to know what's coming next, and they like to be kept on task. Number 9, maintain high visibility. There is a major difference between being present and attending. In the online classroom, many students will sign on just to prove to you they are in class. However, they are the very ones who miss posts, updates, and never seem to know when an assignment is due. They may be present, but not attending. Number 10, wrap up your course. It is important that you wrap up the course properly, saying, if they don't see me, then they know the course is done, or the last day to be online is gone, they know the course is done, is not wrapping up a class. Provide a proper wrap-up message. Online classroom also has its share of paperwork. Ensure all grades are in, reports are submitted, and of course, your claim form is completed. We all want our due rewards. I sure do. Here is a sample of my wrap-up message. Number 11, learn from their feedback. If you notice from this slide, I have highlighted the word growth twice. Reflective practice is all about growing. Don't be thin-skinned about criticism. They should make you better. Seek to use each student evaluation as a mirror. What can I do better? How can I improve my practice? What do I need to work on for the next time? And what worked well and needs to be kept as is? Today I'm sharing best practices with you. Trust me, 6 years ago, I was a mess. I was new, excited, and passionate, but lacked many of these skills. Online reflection is about genuine, honest internalization of how you are performing. It is all about growing. Finally, number 12, never stop growing in mastery. Be inquisitive about how things work and how they operate. Collaborate as professionals. Learn from each other and learn from more experienced coordinators and tutors. Learn from the course content itself. Engage in reflective practice, self-assessment, and self-evaluation. Embrace the aha moments. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you all my own growth. I know that you all in turn will share with others your own best practices as we seek excellence in student engagement.